Yo. So again, y'all, let's get it, man. My name is K.
Chazito.
And we are culture content. Oh, now you want to do your Chazito. Spanish and all that.
I'm take that from my son for the time being.
Nah, that's funny because, people always be like, oh, he speaks Spanish and all that.
Yeah,
sí, un poquito, papo. You know what I mean?
Un poquito.
Like, people don't understand. Like,
no mucho.
No más. Like, people gotta understand, being from New York, you gotta know at least the basics of the basics.
Yeah,
like,
you gotta know when somebody talking about you too.
That too, you know what I mean? Like, we hope that's not the only reason, you want to learn that culture too. But for real, like, all your neighbors are Spanish, you know what I mean? We all from the same hood, same neighborhoods. Just imagine millions of people, different cultures, walks of life and all that, you know what I mean? So it's only right, you know. And I think in New York, like, Spanish is like legit a second language. Like, you have
to it is.
Post stuff in Spanish and in English. So it's real out here.
Yeah,
so.
Like you said, you gotta at least know the basic stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Knowing,
sure.
Somebody say hi, the greetings, and obviously, for whatever reason, we always learn the curse words first.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, always learn the curse words
first. And then you learn the ya tu sabe and todo bien.
Yeah, you learn the smooth stuff. You know what I'm saying? You trying to talk to a female, you say muy bonita, mamacita. You know what I'm saying?
Like, that's funny. That's hilarious.
Nevertheless, though.
Yeah, so we here, episode 19.
19.
About to wrap.
What's that? That's what's that in Spanish?
Diecinueve.
Yeah,
whatever. 19.
Yeah.
You feel me? So, what's that? Divided by 5, that's 3 months. And like 3.5 months, over 3.5 months.
Yeah, I think we've been at this for about 3.5 months.
Shoot, so we started it off with us, so we figured it's only right that we ended off with us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We had a crazy run of just guests.
Shouts out to every guest that we had on the show, and obviously if we didn't get you on the show for season 1, we would love to try to get you season 2, but appreciate everybody that came through and pulled up in the sunroom, or we came to check you. It was all love, man, for real.
Yeah, so that's a blessing, man, to have so many people want to be a part of the movement, more or less. And man, it was just legendary to run. Like, one thing led to another, and next thing you know, we had like 10 artists or 10 guests lined up, ready to go.
I feel like it's like maybe
and each, like you said, each one of them was legendary, did their thing, like super dope. Like, a lot of people right here on this couch, man.
Right. For sure.
So we appreciate y'all. We love the audience and all that. But so just real quick, or what this episode, not even real quick, what this episode is about is basically started a million. And if y'all haven't noticed, like, we always have like some type of like generational wealth segment or something that relates to like growth and like not starting at zero. So the concept behind it is just that, you know what I mean? Like, set the next generation up for success. Don't start them at zero. Whether you leave them a bag, or you leave them some assets, whether that be a house, some property, you know what I mean, some stocks, all the above. Like, we haven't gotten to stocks, but even on our logo, you'll see, that's a little iPad with the stock chart going up. We plan on, discussing more in details about that next season. So, it's been real. I mean, you got anything?
No, of course. I mean, starting a million, we don't want you to think it's like a slogan, but it's more of a way of life. I feel like our people have suffered so much that through everything we endured, we always found a way to bounce back. And I feel like, I don't want to get into reparations, but had we was able to get reparations, we would have definitely started at a million and wouldn't have to find our way out the mud, as they say, right? So now, since the pandemic and a little bit before the pandemic, a lot of people been a little bit more wiser with how they spend their time, how they spend their money, and what they trying to plan for the future. So started at a million. It's more like it's a marathon to trying to get better at preparing you and your family and your close ones for the next generation, 10, 20, 40, 30, 100 years from now, because that's what it's all about. We see how so many other cultures was able to give the generations ahead of them a head start with the work they've been putting in. Why can't we do the same? Which is why I started at $1 million. This segment we got going and want to share with you guys today. That's what it's all about. Just being able to jumpstart or catapult what we're working on now for the future. So the future generations can reap the benefits of what we got working.
Right.
And that's what it comes down to.
For us. So what we're trying to do is more or less have a financial breakthrough. You know what I mean? That there has to be a transfer of financial wealth from one culture to the other. I mean, if you put two and two together, you know what I mean? Yeah, I know exactly what we're talking about. So, yeah.
I can break it down, right? So, exactly what you spoke about, right? The financial breakthrough is education.
Correct.
Financial literacy and education, and knowing where to put your money, how to do it, and so on and so forth, right? We, like I said, we see other businesses come to our urban areas. It's not that the urban areas are broke. We just have very poor spending habits.
Right.
You understand? So other nationalities come to our neighborhoods, set up shop, and become millionaires. Right? That's setting up generational wealth for their family. Yeah. Why can't we do the same?
And vice versa. Like, the black dollar leaves our culture the quickest. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like it's a two-way streak. So therefore, we always at the bottom. You know what I mean? Like no offense, like we all like nice things. We like the newest, whatever, Louis, Gucci, whatever.
Newest clothes, newest whatever,
I mean?
Cars.
Every time, like you said, those names on the last people's those are last people's names, basically, or families' names, and their names are staples. And all you're doing is feeding their family and their generational wealth. So you gotta understand that, like, our dollar, like, no matter which way it goes, our culture is losing the dollar. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't really circulate into the community.
Right. We're the most creative, and we generated the most. We move a lot of these cultures forward, but we don't reap any of the benefits for it. Exactly. You know what I mean? So I think that, I'm not saying that we can't buy stuff, but just be conscious that, like, yo, like, you know what I mean? Like, don't buy Louis. I mean, I'm not saying don't buy Louis, but, like, don't buy certain things that you don't even have a part ownership in. You know what I mean? And there's several ways to have ownership of something, or at least a fraction of an ownership of it. Stocks, you know what I mean? So if you paying them $1, they should be paying you something back. Right. You know, and you should be making your money work for you. There's a real quick, I want to go into, like, savings accounts and everything like that. People always talking about, put your money in savings, but we've said this before, like, you don't get any money off of that. You know what I'm saying? You get what, 4 cents, and you know what I mean?
I think so. It all depends, but when we talk about, like, percentages, right? You get 0.015, and that's not even 1%. If well, maybe that was 1%, but you basically get less than 1% or 1% on the return on the money that you have sitting in the bank. If you was to take that same money, say if you had $1,000 and you invested it into some index funds or some ETFs or even the S&P 500 through a broker like Charles Schwab or Fidelity. Not saying this is not financial advice, but if you used to take that money and had it grow through that, and then put a couple, maybe $100 or $200 every month, that money will grow at least 10 to 11% every year, and then the money compounds. So you say after 15, 20 years of you doing that, your initial investment of $1,000 or whatever it is, and then the money you've been putting in, it's gonna probably be like 10 times that. And it happened just like that, you know what I mean? But we so quick on wanting to downplay it and have we live in a microwave generation, as you all know. So if you don't see the money right then and there, it's like you ain't got it. Right. You gotta play for the long game, because that's what it's all about. Like, how you gonna be able to pass something down to your peoples, to your kids, if you ain't got the money for the long game?
You gotta set what you do. I said it 5 times. What you do today will affect what you do in 10 years from now. So with that being said, like, we was thinking about putting, like, a stock masterclass together for y'all.
We are.
You know what I mean?
We ain't thinking.
We are. Just because, like, we in the stocks heavy. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Wealth Squad. We a part of them too. for all our W's, you know what I mean? Recycle sign.
Yeah.
For the
If you don't know about the Wealth Squad,
Squad.
it's a community on Instagram
Right.
and Twitter created by this dude named Chris Johnson and a couple other dope people. Now that dude right there, I need to follow him. Like, you know what I mean?
Self-made millionaire, bro. Self-made. Let's just say that. Let's just say he was blown before, but then the AMC and GameStop deal came about, and he just basically
He
took
was,
over.
he was winning before that
That's
though.
what I'm saying.
But
Like, yeah,
I
he
feel,
was
I feel
winning,
like
and
I
then
feel like people didn't pay.
in mind,
Yeah.
you know, because you know, if you like you said, if you can't see it right then and there, it's like you think it's wasteless or useless information, and it's like, nah, man, you got to keep grinding. Like nothing happens overnight for real. Like
Yeah.
you can, but in the scheme of things, when something does blow overnight, it took you 10 years for you to get to that overnight.
A lot of people don't really
So-
see how it came to be. They don't
Right,
see how it came to be. They
right.
just see the success.
Sex, then I think that's the part that's really the difference. You know what I mean? So we definitely want to bring out some more knowledge and some more like information about generational wealth because you know when you talk about people like Warren Buffett, we've also mentioned this like his family has 100 years in the stock market.
100
you know,
plus.
100 plus years. His father was doing it. You know what I mean? Since the thing opened up, basically. You know. And you think about where he is now, you got to think about how he's invested, how he's made money, how he's used dividends to his advantage, how, you know, those dividends pay each generation over and over and over again, 10 times over. So that's their basic salary right there, you know what I mean, at minimum. Like,
they said
it's crazy.
something like he has over like his the dividends or the money he's put into dividends or something like that for Coca-Cola is like more than a lot of high earners. I forgot how much it was, but he's getting like maybe $250,000, dividends a year
Crazy.
just from Coca-Cola.
Crazy.
And it might be more, it might be less, but it was some crazy number that they compared it to high earners in the world. You know, your engineers, your doctors. You know, they make over 6 figures. That's how much his dividends are. That's crazy. And then he don't have to touch another stock for the rest of his life.
Right.
And everybody that's in his family is taken care of.
Set up. Those dividends will pay their family forever.
So one of the things we want to highlight within our our masterclass, basically the stock masterclass is for anybody that doesn't know much about the stock market. And if you want to learn this, that will be the class you want to take. So it could be for young adults. We gearing everything towards young adults because that's the new generation. But people that if you don't know anything about it, I mean, you can still buy the class and still learn.
It'll be
the
for
same
all
way.
ages, essentially. You know
Right.
what I mean? Because we're gonna break down the basics and then do it a little advanced as we go on and whatnot. But definitely be sure to look out for that. We got a lot of things coming for y'all next
I'm
year.
gonna give them a couple of things what might be on it, right? So one of the things that's gonna be on it is when to buy it, when to buy the stock, what is the stock, and we might sprinkle a little bit of options in there, just a little bit.
That's basic stuff, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So look out for that. More or less, we definitely aiming for 2022. You know what I mean? We'll be giving out further information and details about that. But yeah, just know that that's coming up, and yeah, more or less. So just to continue that, another reason why we want to start the stock market classes, we realized that like different cultures, their grandparents would pay for their grandkids' future, or not future per se, but like education. I mean, which is the same, in itself, future education, knowledge, all in the same.
It's just
realm,
an investment
obviously.
for the future.
You know what I mean? And then their parents pay for their grandkids and so forth. Like, so when we got to start thinking outside the box, thinking about ways of how to start our families at $1 million, basically.
Yeah.
Hence the title, what we're trying to get to, start at $1 million. So there's different ways, you know what I mean, to do that. Like we had the episode about life insurance. Shout out to Mike again. We appreciate you. But it's just certain things like that we try to set your family up. But then in itself, life insurance is like you still paying into somebody else's wealth, and their family is to say, all right, we'll pay you back 100,000 or $1 million in 20 years or whatever the case is, or when somebody dies. So like it's wicked. You know what I mean? No matter how you play it. So some people see life insurance like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like it's a catch-22 in a lot of things, but you just gotta plan it strategically. You know what I mean? And make sure you're doing the right thing. So that could go both ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, something to think about. Yeah, like
what we see from a lot of different cultures, is like exactly like you said, like how the Jews, the grandparents pay for the grandchildren's education. Now, the money not might necessarily go towards education, but it's going into a fund, possibly stocks, insurance, or what have you, where that money is being compounded on a daily basis, right? They can use that money to start a business. They can use that money for education. They can use that money to remodel their house. A lot of times you see I heard a story before where, somebody was trying to buy a house and the realtor asked the person that was trying to buy a house, can't you just ask your parents for, the down payment money? Like, in a grand scheme of things, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
But it don't work like that. You know what I mean? Like, let's be real. Like, a lot of parents don't have $20,000, $30,000 to give to their kids just off the bat. A lot of people still struggling to make ends meet. So we have to be creative. We are very creative. Our culture is very creative. We are the battery for a lot of stuff that happens. Like you say, Kay, we ain't the ones reaping the benefits. So we got to change that mindset. We spoke about this plenty of times during our season 1, and we're going to continue speaking about it. Why? Because it's so important for us to move to the next level on what we got going on. So, like you said, not just the Jews and other nationalities and just other people that's coming into our space reaping the benefits of what we got. Why can't we be the ones to eat too? Why can't we be the ones to jumpstart our families with funds or even just even the knowledge on what to do going forward? A lot of us as novices when it comes to investing or what to do for the future. We just kind of living, and not saying that everybody's like that, but it's a good portion of it. And even the mindset when you start talking to people about stocks or like generational wealth, it's kind of like Charlie Brown. It's like man, nobody want to hear that shit.
Downplay you.
Nobody want to hear it. Everybody want to talk about stuff that don't matter or is not gonna matter in 5-10 years from now.
Right, 100%,
So we're back. Nah, but basically we're gonna get back into the start of the million stuff, right? Obviously the concept, and when you guys see the logo, shouts out to my co-worker that made the logo for me. I'm gonna put her stuff in the bottom of it, with her blessing. She does some dope work. Shouts out to you for that. I know I was on your back about it a little bit, but
it's all for a good cause.
It's all for a good cause, and you already know. We're gonna show love, and I'm gonna use the Jada slogan that you use and I use. One hand wash the other, both wash the face, right? So, nah. But when it comes to start at $1 million, right? We gotta make sure we are setting up our peoples up for future, positive things, right? What we seen in 2020 and 2021 was a stock market made a lot of millionaires. And I personally seen all people making hundreds of thousands of dollars. I've seen it from people in the Wealth Squad and just paying attention to what's going on in the market these days, right? Obviously, prior to that, I wasn't in the market all crazy. I knew what the stock market was, but I didn't understand it the way I was. And
nobody took advantage of it.
And nobody took advantage. And then another thing, too, a lot of people will try to make you believe that the stock market is only for smart people, right? It's only for a certain demographic of people. And that's not 100% true, right? The stock market is a valuable tool and education for people that want to learn. It don't matter, your ethnicity, your age, it don't matter. But none of that. If you got the means to make money and be able to follow trends and whatnot, and be able to research effectively, you can be able to make money in the stock market. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's different tiers to how people do it. You know what I mean? Some people are day traders. Some people do long-term investing. What have you. Everything requires a different level of research. What I seen personally, the money people was making, they buying stuff at discounted rates and selling it.
Basically buying stocks in the red and selling them in the green.
Right? So It just all depends on the money you have, the style of trader you want to be, and you know what I mean, just what you feel comfortable wanting to risk. You know, because it could be risky when you invest in, right? So that's why a lot of people would rather buy shares instead of options, because options you can lose a lot in a minute, or you can make a lot of money in a minute, but it's extremely volatile. It's extremely volatile. So people feel it's a safer bet to buy shares of a company when it's in the red, like you said, and then be able to sell it when it's green. But that research had to come before you even put money in it. And if you put money in a stock without doing no research, that's called gambling, my friend.
Right.
And you may or may not win.
Right.
Your ass might crap out.
You basically got to go in there with an educated guess. You know what I mean? An educated educated entry, and an educated out point, get out. You know what I mean? Which whatever your target is, once you get there, get out.
Yeah.
People think, oh, I don't got time to do this and X, Y, and Z.
I hate that shit when people say that.
It's because you got to know your plan. You know what I mean? You got to have a plan to get out. This is not something that you, like you said, it's not gambling. It's not something you just throw your money at and you got a 1 in a million chance of hitting it. You know what I mean? Nah, like there's homework, there's research that goes behind everything. And if your plan is right, you can trade all day, all year, you know what I mean, without even having to look. Because if you're doing long-term investments, like there's no need for you to be watching the stocks every day. So if that thing drops one day, it ain't gonna hurt you. You know what I mean? Because you, in your mind, you like, I'm in it for the long haul.
It's not exactly.
I'm in it for the long haul anyway, so I wasn't gonna take it out. So I'm gonna just wait till it double back and come back up. You know what I mean? And 9 times out of 10, that's what's gonna happen because America's never gonna go broke. Even though the dollar's down.
Right. I mean, that's why people talking about investing in crypto.
Crypto, yeah.
Which we might.
Yeah, dibbling down.
We might.
DeFi and you know Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And
we might put a little something in there for on that class, but nevertheless, like what you said, man, like all that stuff is important. You have to make sure you have to have that research. Got to come before you even put any money. So you got to know if the stock is not going your way, you got to have an exit plan. You got to have an exit plan before you even put money into it.
Facts.
And if you don't, then obviously you messed up.
You messed up. You fumbled the bag. Nah, don't fumble the bag, y'all.
Please don't. But
it's not a game. You know what I mean? It sounds good, but it's not a game. People, just as we talking about people make millions, people go broke.
Lose millions.
You know what I mean? Because they getting greedy, not paying attention, and just probably trading for all the wrong reasons. Let's just say that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, more or less that's important. But like we said, stock masterclass coming to y'all. 2022. Yeah, and more information to come, man.
Yeah, so we're gonna detail a lot of good things in there. We're gonna roll it out to a certain group of individuals that was hungry for the knowledge on learning stocks. So we're excited to partner with a local high school in Pittsburgh. We're not gonna give the name out yet, but we're happy to work with them come 2022. And hopefully we can create some future millionaires in that class. It's all about education and feeding the next generation the knowledge they need in order to be able to propel to new heights. That's it, man. And if you ain't noticed, don't ever forget. Don't you ever forget. Don't let me start.
Mad aggressive with y'all, right?
Nah, but
all just the camera there.
Mad aggressive with the camera. But all in all, you know what I'm saying? Like, we've been in this strong, and we love everybody that's been, tuning in to us every every Monday. We have bonus episodes that be coming on Wednesday too, so relax.
Hold on. You know how we get
every Monday.
Every Monday, it ain't like your favorite sitcom.
Right.
They stop playing.
Hold on, I'm thinking about something else that's supposed to be going on this Monday. But no, nevertheless, we appreciate everybody that's been tuning in, sharing and liking and posting our stuff and resharing our stuff. Like it means a lot. You know what I mean? Like even if it's a simple like or a simple share or yo bros, y'all been doing your thing and all that stuff it doesn't go unnoticed and we definitely appreciate it. You know what I mean? We been getting organic followers and from both on all our platforms, people that's genuinely interested in the movement we trying to push. So yeah. I'm excited. for the new journey we've embarking on. I'm excited for the new stuff we about to roll out because it's about to get real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We are not playing, and we want to do this BIG. We from New York, so we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it real different. And and as you do that, tell me, I mean, what's that you got on your hat? I mean, what's that?
Oh, my new crown.
What's that?
My new crown.
What's
it's
that?
Crazy because I had the birthday cake before I had to fit it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'll probably wear this the next 2 episodes. I ain't gonna hold you. But this is NY Mobbing Fitted Authority. You know what I mean? One of the latest drops and shit. And try not to curse, but you feel me? Like, go to the website, man. Go cop it.
I need one of those.
You know what I'm saying?
Tell them nothing to do. Hop in the train, B.
It's on
the side. It's right there.
Yeah. Boom. You ain't lived that life. If you don't live that life, then come on, you wasn't there.
You wasn't there, baby.
Bro, like,
you was not there.
I had a lot of good experiences and bad experiences with hopping the train. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get wrapped up, sometimes you get away. You know what I mean? Like, so it's all love, man. Crime pays avenue. You heard? Cause you know we give it up, man. You know, real talk, but we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. You know what I mean? We got, like we said, one more in the bag. And, you know, we taking a little short intermission break for y'all. And we coming back with crazy topics for next season.
Yeah.
And, yo, if y'all want us to talk about something, man, drop that in the comments, man. Let us know how you feeling. Let us know what you want to hear. Because we doing the research, man. And we bringing it back to y'all in layman's terms. So y'all don't got to do the research. Y'all just got to follow us and pick what your favorite topic is and learn about it type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So trying to think outside the box, not trying to bring out some substance, man. And we went back and forth with that for some time. You know what I mean? Starting culture content, but I feel like we both feel like we in the right direction right now. You know, especially with the guests and people who we got tuning in and shouting us out. Like, but real quick, like you said, it's crazy to hear people talk about culture content right now, and you know, reposting us and just shouting out our name and it having a whole ring to it, like culture content. Yeah, I seen you on culture content type of thing. So super swaggy, super rific. That's not a word, but we gonna run with it.
We're gonna make it today.
We're gonna make it today. It's a word on culture content, you heard? So yeah, man. So that's it, man. This is episode 19 in the bag. Start at 1 million. We got merch. We got a whole bunch of things coming with Start at 1 million, so be on the lookout for that. Like we said, that logo and that everything's done. You know what I mean? We working overtime for y'all. So love is love. We appreciate y'all. We didn't give ourselves our own bam. We just as popping as everybody else, bro.
I don't know my phone is at.
You know what I mean? We do it ourselves. Bam.
Hold on, right here. Hold on. So
let's go all right.
You know, we're gonna go all right with this one.
Yeah, let's go. Wrap it up.